Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today I'm here to talk about one of the most revered effects pedals of all time, the Dunlop Crybaby wah-wah pedal. I am not a fan. I have never gotten along with wah-wah pedals very well. I tried and tried in my youth to emulate all those cool classic sounds of the 60s rock icons and the 70s rock icons who all used wah-wah pedals in varying degrees with varying degrees of success. I met with no success using a wah-wah pedal during the course of my guitar journey until I discovered the fact that you can take a wah-wah pedal and make it into two pedals. And that is what this video is about today. If you are a person who has a wah-wah pedal laying around collecting dust, or if you've just never been satisfied with them, there's a great fix for it. And what you do is you can turn the housing and the existing potentiometer into a volume pedal quite easily. And then you can take the guts out, the circuit board, and the foot switch, and the jacks, and rehouse them into their own pedal enclosure. So, I thought that, first of all, I would just talk a little bit about the volume pedal. So, what I've done with this is I've taken a, standard Dunlop wah-wah, and I've turned it into a volume pedal by taking the insides out. I will put a schematic up right over here that shows the inside wiring, and it's really quite simple. You put in a switchcraft jack on either side for your ins and outs. Then you put a 3-pole dual throw foot switch in to replace the foot switch that comes with the wah-wah. And I even added an LED in here. So I do have a power supply right there so that when the volume pedal is not in bypass mode, the light comes on so that I know that my volume pedal is on. So it's a super great conversion. The pedal, of course, itself, the treadle, is an amazing piece of equipment. I mean, it's very solid, works very smoothly, makes for an excellent volume pedal. And then doing those mods with the LED and, the bypass switch, you can bypass the pedal altogether, which is great, true bypass, which you don't have on a Crybaby. And then having the light indicator is super handy, so you know when your volume pedal is actually engaged. So I find that to be an incredibly useful way to repurpose the wah-wah by turning it into a simple volume pedal. It works incredibly smoothly, and like I said, having that LED indicator is very, very useful. And I love having it be also true bypass so that you don't have any weird buffering, or if you accidentally leave the pedal on and you have it not quite all the way depressed, you're losing volume to your amp at that point. So having that light indicator, I think, is kind of critical to really making it a truly amazing volume pedal. And then over here to our little enclosure. Now, when you pull the circuit board out of a Dunlop Crybaby or any other Crybaby, most of the time now you're going to find that the input and output jacks are actually attached to the PCB board, to the circuit board. So you have to do a little, creative engineering. And what I've done is I have one of the jacks is actually attached to the chassis, and then the other jack I have a jumper going to just a switchcraft. I'm using the existing, foot switch from the Crybaby rather than rewiring and doing a true bypass. I have done that on another cocked wah pedal that I have. And by the way, this would be considered a cocked wah. So that just means that we turn this knob and we park it wherever we want it to get our filter sound. And then I quite simply took the battery clip that's inside and wired it to a 9-volt jack so that it can be powered on your pedal board quite easily. No need for a battery. So, and then the one mod I will talk about on this is that the 33K resistor by the inductor, that's your cue control. So it kind of controls some of the voicing of your wah-wah pedal. And what I do with that usually is remove that 33K resistor, and we're talking primarily about Dunlop Crybaby circuitry here. So you remove that 33K resistor and just replace it with a 100K potentiometer. That potentiometer is sitting right over here. I have it set to where I want it for this demonstration, but you can experiment with your Q setting to get different voicings. You can darken it up, brighten it up. It offers you more tonal variety, but it is completely unnecessary. If you're happy with the voicing of your wah circuit, you don't need to replace that 33K resistor with the 100K potentiometer. You can just roll with using your sweep. So inside of this pedal, obviously there's a sweeper pot that is attached to the treadle. In this, we quite simply take a 100K potentiometer and wire it as you would have seen it inside of the wah enclosure. And you just take the wires, replace them into the lugs of your new potentiometer with a knob on it instead. So, and I just wanted to mention too, I will be, for this brief demonstration of the cocked wah, I see no reason to demonstrate a volume pedal. It works as a volume pedal would. It just raises and lowers the volume so you can do volume swells. But for the cocked wah, I will be using my 40th anniversary Squier, which I am happy to say I'm finally pleased with the look of, and it was quite simply putting all black plastics on it. That really just kind of has brought me to closure with this guitar, and I think the black looks really good against the silver aluminum pickguard, which I did sand out myself to make it look this way. It was gold anodized before. All right, enough about the 40th anniversary Squier. Let's go to our cocked wah. Right now I'll give you my clean tone. All right, and that is that is on a clean channel. I will be using a hair of gain in a moment after we go through and turn on our wah. All right, now our wah is engaged. And when we go ahead and use a little bit of gain, so you can obviously tell that we've got our filtering going on. Now, let's see what happens as we move the wah around. So it gives you the full range of your wah pedal, and you can pick where you want to be. Let's put it on the rhythm pickup. I'm on the super bright end of the scale here, so... And we go more towards the middle. And we can get dark. I find that all very satisfying. I like just being able to reach down and find a nice little sweet spot, and it just adds a nice like vintage flavor to whatever you're doing. And if you're using other effects with it, this is just a great little filter sweep to have around. And unlike when it is housed within the treadle can move. The treadle can be difficult to find the sweet spot. By taking that circuit board out, rehousing it, if I could only speak, gives you accuracy, and it gives you more flexibility in my mind. If you're a traditional wah enthusiast, this is probably going to make you angry. But if you're a traditional wah enthusiast and you have multiple wah pedals, I highly, highly recommend trying this out. Cocked wah pedals can be very, ridiculously expensive. I've seen them, like the lowest priced one, I was looking for one about a year and a half ago, and I kept coming across them, and they were like pushing well into the mid hundreds. And I'm like, there's nothing to this circuit. It's just a wah-wah circuit with a knob on it. So I made one myself. And I've been very, very happy with it. This is definitely something I use in my toolkit regularly in the studio to get sounds that, you know, kind of have that vintage vibe. Well, anyway, I would like to thank you so much for watching. If you have watched to this point, I would appreciate a like, a subscribe, a share, and a comment. Am I doing something horrible by tearing wah pedals apart and turning them into volume and filter sweep pedals? I don't think so. I think that being creative with this sort of thing is just kind of what we're supposed to do as creatives, right? So anyway, I appreciate all the subscribers out there. Please get your friends to check it out and hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you next time with more content. You take care.